All right, hey again, everyone. Craig Galbraith, the voice of the channel here, and have I got an exciting one for you today. When you think of virtual reality, gaming might be the first thing that comes to mind. But this technology now has some incredible business application, and yes, it's coming to the channel. I've tried it, was absolutely blown away by it, not just by the tech itself, but also by thinking of the revenue opportunity that could be coming for the partner community here. So joining me to talk about it today are Kevin Sheehan, co-founder of CustomerXR. Kevin, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Craig. Thanks for having us on. This is great.
Absolutely. And Chris Fonte, CTO at the company. Chris, welcome.
Thank you, Craig. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Now, I'll admit, I'm not always pumped up, to be honest, about new tech coming to the channel. A lot of times, it's just a slight variation of what we've seen before, but this seems like an opportunity to sort of get in on the ground floor of something that's not only very cool, but also potentially lucrative. So we'll talk about the channel opportunity in a moment, but I want to set this up by asking you guys how you got into VR. Chris, maybe you first, since you're the tech guy here.
Sure thing. Yeah. So I actually got into VR when I was still in college. I started a company where I would bring VR to public spaces. Like many people, it was all about games. We were bringing VR games to parties, bars, bowling alleys, what have you. And over the years, we very organically realized that there are a lot of business applications as well. We found that out because I would be going out to these places, showing VR, and eventually some people would say, maybe you could build us a VR application for our business or, what have you. And at the time, I was kind of like, we could. I never, haven't really thought of that. But once we started doing it, we realized the power is tremendous when you start combining business and XR together. Shortly after that, me and Kevin started Customer XR, and now we're here.
Yeah, so Kevin, obviously our audience knows you pretty well from your years at BCM1 and Cloud Links. Jump in on that. You saw an incredible opportunity, obviously, here with VR.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've been proven correct on this one. um, for people who know CloudLinks and my two fellow co-founders, Mike Gallio-Fiore and Frank Wassenberg, they know me as sort of the mad scientist between the three of us. And I'm always on the lookout for getting ahead of technology. One of my, I think, very valid criticisms, having been this is my 27th year in the channel. One of my valid criticisms of the channel is that it tends to follow trends a touch, and we kind of wait for new technologies to emerge, and then we flood the zone. That's certainly happening with AI right now. Um, we were at the very forefront of the CX industry. Uh, we still are known today, CloudLinks, CX consulting partners, as probably one of the leading experts in the nation around adopting and implementing CX technologies. We saw that trend coming in 2012, Frank Wassenberg and I in particular, and we got ahead of it. And we instantly dedicated ourselves to becoming the best at it ahead of everybody else. And we rode that wave, and I've been for the last 2 years looking for the next technology. Obviously, everybody is chasing their tail with AI adoption right now, and being in the thick of that in the CX world, there's a lot of vendors and clients chasing their tail with AI. And I wanted to get outside of that with a new technology and really get in front of something. And this opportunity kind of fell into our lap to purchase Chris's company and his team and all their IP and knowledge around it. And that was officially about a year ago now, and it's been wild. It's been very successful.
Yeah, it sounds like you're having fun. I think you nailed it right there on the head too. Cloud computing, AI, some of these things that the channel's been a little late getting to, and this is really an opportunity for them to jump in. Also, I should note, guys, that throughout this video, we're going to show what this technology looks like, Now, I know, as you mentioned to me, Kevin, a while ago, that seeing it in 2D maybe isn't quite like the full meta experience, but it will give our audience a really good idea, I think. And I can certainly vouch for how amazing it is. So we're going to do that. So with that, Kevin, talk about the application of VR a little more here for business and some of the partnerships that you've made so far.
Um, so we cast a very wide net starting about a year and a half ago. My original strategy was to work with the portfolio of clients that we had on the CX side, who many of whom started out as contact center managers, director of contact center, and who are now chief customer experience officers for major brands. Um, we started having a dialogue around showing them VR, the power of VR, and then saying to them, dream your VR dream. What would you use it for? And our clients started coming back to us with some really good ideas. And Chris and his team did a fantastic job of implementing them. Some examples, we did two major home remodeling companies have implemented VR as a sales tool, being able to show potential customers before and after around what their kitchens and bathrooms would look like. We did an amazing proof of concept around a major egress building company, Egress Pros, around showing what happens when you're in your basement and you have a fire without a point of egress. It's actually quite quite frightening.
Yeah.
And from there, we've expanded into a ton of business coming from the quick service restaurant industry. That's on the client side. On the partnership side, one of the things that I've been so excited about is that the XR community, XR being the agreed upon acronym, extended reality, the XR commercial industry is a wonderful group of very like-minded, entrepreneurial, but also altruistic entrepreneurs. And everyone kind of plays in the sandbox together, helping each other, supporting each other. So we have a great portfolio of partners. If there's a project that gets brought to us that we're not particularly experts at, we can take it to one of our other partners who we know does it very well. So there's a lot of cross-pollination within the industry, which is fantastic. It's a stark difference from 20 years plus in telecom for sure.
Certainly, certainly. Yeah, no, I've tried all of the applications in your showcase. They're all terrific. I enjoyed them all. So, Chris, maybe you can get into that a little bit. Kevin touched on a couple of the applications, but talk about them a little more, where they can be found. Where are they available?
Sure thing. Yeah. So we have our CustomerXR Showcase application, which is on the Meta Quest store. So you could use your Meta Quest if you have one, download it for free. There's 8 proof of concepts that we've built for businesses in that app. We also have the Innisfree Garden Tour, which is a new app we developed recently that's available on Apple Vision Pro and Meta Quest. And it's a proof of concept around immersive tourism, where you're able to basically explore a garden in upstate New York in full 360. It's pretty amazing, I think. You're also able to learn a bit about the garden through some info panels as well. So it gives people that maybe can't travel, maybe aren't able to actually go to the garden, a way to experience it. And we hope that other tourist spots are going to notice, and maybe it'll get their mind thinking about how they could also use XR to both archive their space and also give people that can't visit it a way to experience it.
Yeah, I'm
Is
sure
that
they will. I just checked that out yesterday. I thought it was really cool too.
Yeah, we are very proud of the Innisfree garden experience. We did it, in partnership with New York State, as a proof of concept for what Chris touched upon would be probably bigger projects down the road. But it's a very, very unique application that has not, in our opinion, been done before, either in Meta or Apple on any platform. And it's one of the few apps that actually is more or less the same between the Meta platform, which has 21 million active headsets globally, and the Apple Vision Pro, which has roughly 500,000 headsets active globally. And Chris and Brian Colon, our creative director, incredible job getting the experience that you have in a $4,000 Apple headset into a $400 Meta Quest headset. Definitely check it out. We're very
Hmm.
proud of it.
I was especially impressed how you could change the seasons. There'd be snow on the ground in the winter time, and you'd hear the birds and see them flying around in the spring. So that was great. So, guys, virtual reality isn't necessarily new, but it does seem to be evolving quite rapidly. As I mentioned, still a chance to get in sort of on the ground floor, especially in the channel. And I know you've had at least one conversation with the distributor in the space, but you're also going directly to the channel partner who's in the trenches with this. Is that right, Kevin?
It is. It is. Again, as a veteran, like many, I've seen this. I've seen this dance before with new technologies coming to the market. When I first started in technology, it was selling commercial internet connectivity in the late '90s. Shout out CTC Communications. Um, I was there at the very advent of unified communications when people first started putting their commercial voice traffic over the internet. I remember selling hard against that in the early 2000s to some clients. Like, what are you thinking? How can you dream of putting your voice traffic over the internet? Um, and what I learned from it was that there's always going to be roughly 10 or 15% of clients who are forward thinking enough to jump in first. And it's a great example of what I'm referring to more as sort of technological Darwinism. You always need those first fish to walk out of the pond, onto dry land. And I see channel as a great way of reaching those clients, the ones who are willing to say, yeah, you know what? We could use virtual reality to train our staff, or we could use virtual reality to market our hotel brand, or for a school to say, hey, we can use virtual reality to train our students 10 times more effectively than training them online. So, I'm looking for that 15% out there. And I think the channel partners, they have the connections. And we are channel partners. I came from this industry. I know how channel partners think. We know what's important. We know how to take care of channel partners. So it's a good fit for us.
100%, 100%. All right, so let's get a little granular. Sort of walk me through how a channel partner can make a sale here and the revenue opportunity with that. I know there are some similarities in the pricing model with like UCaaS, for instance, right, with MRR, and that's something obviously this audience is pretty familiar with, Kevin.
Yes, it is. It is strikingly similar to UC. Um, we're building these applications bespoke. We're building tailored applications based upon the business need. There's really two sides of that. There's a marketing side where a client may want to use virtual augmented reality or immersive experiences to sell or show off their property or their wares. It's very effective with high-end hospitality. It's very effective in high-end real estate, as a way of, if you want to really experience what it's like to be there, we can deliver that experience. But where most of our work is being done is on the training aspect of using VR internally to a corporation. As I touched upon earlier, quick service restaurants, like fish jumping into the boat, like it saves such an exponential amount of time and money from how people are being trained right now. It's a no-brainer for quick service restaurant, fast casual restaurants. As far as the model, you have a significant upfront cost uh, around development of an application, and then you have a licensing around the headsets. You know, I like quick service restaurants because you can do a proof of concept for 10 locations, implement that effectively, and then with that success, that gets distributed to as many locations as they may have. In some cases, we're in a proof of concept stage with one quick service restaurant that has 10,000 national locations. There's a monthly license on the headset where we're monitoring the headsets and keeping them secure, pushing updates, just like a hosted phone system. And the channel business model is almost identical to what you would see from a hosted phone provider.
Yeah, and talking about clearly there are plenty of opportunities for those channel partners out there who are attacking these vertical markets you're talking about.
Yeah. one point there, I guess this is a good opportunity to make this point. This is a great conversation starter. And I know, being a channel partner, how challenging it can be in 2026 to get new conversations going or get into a logo that you've never been able to get into before. You know, the same pitches get a little tired. I have never gotten conversations with major brands easier in my career than I have when I reach out to the right person and say, what's your immersive strategy? What's your game plan to use virtual reality to connect with your employees better, or to connect with your customers better? Because they know it's coming and no one is having that conversation with them. So even
Hmm.
if it leads to other technological, you know, questions or discussions, it's a great conversation starter to have. And it's a great thing to say, and it's a great solution to deliver.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was going to ask you, as sort of industry-wide, obviously the attention has been on AI now for, well, at least a couple of years, and there's been such an arms race around that. I wonder if kind of the VR and augmented reality AR were maybe backburnered a bit, and maybe now with what you guys are offering, this is a really good opportunity for a partner out there who's watching this to find a niche. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll preface by saying anything I think that is happening with AI that's good is also good for XR. I think that there's a lot of talk about AI, as we all know, it's everywhere. But what people don't really think about is how you're really interacting with AI. Right now, it's mostly you're just on your phone or on your computer and you're just typing to it, right? That's how we all experience it. When you introduce XR into the equation, it turbocharges the AI and it adds another layer of realism. For example, some of the apps we build, we have AI embodied agents inside the apps. Now, at their core, they're basically just like you're talking to ChatGPT or something. But now that it's underneath this human avatar and there's a human voice and you don't have to like type, you could just talk to it. Now it becomes real and now it becomes almost human. And that really benefits a lot with the training apps we're doing. You're able to simulate really realistic scenarios using these AI agents. And like I said, in the core, it's just like, you're using an LLM, but the XR aspect to it just turbocharges it. So, like I said, the training aspects that go along with combining AI and XR are tremendous. It's been proven that learning with XR is up to 4 times faster than traditional learning. So this combination of these two things is just where a lot of our focus goes to these days. And it's only been kind of recent that we've been able to implement this kind of stuff. Like a year or two ago, you weren't really able to integrate AI into an XR experience at this level, but the recent tools and advancements that have come out have given us this ability to place these realistic AI humans almost into these scenarios and really, just up turbocharge these experiences to a new level.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's amazing from me going through the applications that even an old guy like me could manage to get through some of them. What I'm curious about is how easy, and I've got to think it's got to be easy in these talking points to sell this technology when a customer tries it. I mean, after trying it myself, I felt like I was ready to change my oil, work in one of these fast casual restaurants that you're talking about without even, stepping in the brick and mortar facility. Chris, I know you're not the sales guy, but you're the tech guy here, and you've been doing this for a long time. What do you
Right.
think? How easy a sell is that from people just experiencing it?
Yeah, so the key factor in that equation, I would say, is actually having to put the headset onto somebody. You could explain XR to people in VR, and they already have an idea in their head of what it is. In most cases, what we've experienced is they think it's for games. Like we all can understand that it's been kind of very prominently used for gaming up until recently. So it's fair that people think that, but once you put them in a headset, you say, no, 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 this isn't a game. Just try it on. They're like, oh, okay, I'll try it. And they get to see these business use cases specifically. It opens up what I call their VR third eye. And then they start just they see the value in it. They start, oh, like XR could be used for this, VR could help with that, and their mind just starts racing. And so once they're at that stage, it's like an easy sell. They see the value in it. Their minds are like, now they're acclimated with the current state of the technology and not what they had in their mind previously. And then at that point, we step in, we say, okay, calm down. Let's pick one or two of these things that that are actually actionable that we could help you with. And that's where Customer XR steps in. We help find these solutions once these people start brainstorming them, and we actually create them, make them happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really spurs that thought process, right? And that innovation in their minds when they can see that and then develop the ideas from there. Guys, finally, what's the best way to get in touch with you to learn more about this technology?
Letter, postal mail is probably the most effective.
Snail mail.
Info at customerxr.com. It works great. Our website is customerxr.com. You can reach out to Chris or myself on LinkedIn.
Or you could find us in the metaverse.
Find us in the metaverse. That should have been the right answer.
There you go. That was the right answer. That was the right answer. And we'll see you here big in the channel here coming here in the month of March and beyond. Gentlemen, thanks so much for your time today. Yeah.
One more point. For the first time in 10 years, we're going to be at channel partners, which we have avoided, for a long time since we were so entrenched in the CX space. But we're excited to actually be going out to channel partners this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of old friends and putting them into headsets and showing them what we've done.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be there too, so I'll be able to tell them in person how cool it is. Guys, thanks so much for your time. It's been pretty exciting learning more about this technology, trying it myself, and then seeing what the channel is going to get out of it. So thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks, you very much.